Welcome to the channel. I'm the Swedish Dividend investor. So guys, I first off want to thank you for your support these last weeks. We have gone from 100 subscribers to over 165 in a very short while, so thank you very much. And I think this video will come out a bit off schedule. I'll come to that later in the video. This will be a bit different from my usual format, more of a podcast type of thing. Today I want to talk about goals, specifically my own goals and the importance of milestones. I also have an update to give you later in the video, so make sure to stick around for it. So, what are my goals? Well, I have a lot of goals. In life, in business, investing, and my YouTube channel. Let's talk about my YouTube channel first. My short-term goals are growing the channel. This means I sometimes have to please the algorithm with the more basic videos. I don't really like to talk about lame so-called investments, but I might have to touch on them to draw in viewers and new subscribers. What do I mean with lame investments? Well, take Apple, Visa, and Walmart for instance. A lot of dividend investors rave on about owning these companies as dividend stocks. Technically, yes, they do pay dividends. But are we supposed to be retiring on a sub 1% dividend? Good luck with that. As an argument for these companies, I usually hear, yeah, the yield is super low, but the growth is super high. And yes, for some companies that is true. However, is it reasonable to believe a company can grow its dividend with over 15 or 20% per year in perpetuity? I would say no. Sure, it can happen, but as you might have seen from my videos, I rather use low and conservative growth numbers when calculating a company's intrinsic value. Which is more probable? Low steady growth in perpetuity or super high growth in perpetuity? I'll let you decide that. With that being said, I might have to do some videos on these companies to draw more people in, since they are a pretty popular subject in the community. My long-term goals with the channel is to bring in some extra income. Not via sponsors, unless it's a product I use and if it could offer you some value, but through ad revenue. I believe I can offer some value to you as a viewer, and if I stick with it, sooner or later I could monetize my channel. What about my investment goals? Well, the end goal is to have enough money to be free. Freedom is my highest goal in life. Money can offer you freedom. Can I see myself retire early? No. I think I would be very depressed in a short while. I like to work and I like to be productive. Having enough money to never have to work again would, however, set me free to do whatever I want. I could start another small business, doing things I'm passionate about. I could help out my friends and my family. I could do volunteer work. So yeah, that's my end goal. The freedom to choose what I spend my time doing. As for now, since I live very frugally, I would say I'm about 20 to 25% on the way there. So yeah, it's some time away in the future. What about my short-term goals? Here we can talk about milestones. Usually, for every 1,000 crowns per month in dividend income I reach, that is a milestone. In dollars, that's roughly $100. Currently, my income from dividend is sitting at 5,500 Swedish crowns, or $580 per month. This will go up and down, depending on the currency. So, to reach my next goal of 6,000 per month, I would need 6,000 more in yearly dividend income. Invested at roughly 6% yield, that comes out to around 100,000 Swedish crowns. You can calculate this by dividing the dividend amount by the percentage yield. In this case, 6,000 divided by 6% equals 100k. I save around 10 to 12k per month, so on the low end, that's 80k for the rest of the year. Now, my biggest payment I get is in April and May, so my real average dividend income for the rest of the year is around 3,000 to 4,000 Swedish crowns per month. Low end, that's 24,000 in dividends, plus my 80,000 in savings, meaning I should reach my next milestone by the end of this year. In the beginning of my investment journey, I started with small milestones. At first, I was like, cool, I can afford a beer with my dividends. And then it was a pizza. Then it was a pizza every other month. Then I had a goal of reaching 1 month of extra savings, aka 12,000 or 1,000 Swedish crowns per month. Then it became a goal to afford a nice vacation every year for 1 month worth of salary. Celebrate the small steps is what I'm trying to say. Set up both long-term and short-term goals and milestones. Calculate what you can save and at what yield you could invest. I think it's important to have a bunch of goals in mind to stay consistent. What about my other goals? Well, that's a topic for another video. As for the update, I told you guys in my 100 subscriber special about my work. I run a small business, a blue-collar type of job. Last weekend, I got a call from my employee with some bad news. He has gotten a fracture in his right arm. Now, if you work at a desk, that's sometimes fine. However, in our line of work, that's no bueno. At first, we guessed he will be away from work for anywhere between 3 and 6 weeks, since this happened during a vacation abroad. But when he arrived in Sweden, he booked time for X-ray and meeting with a doctor. Turns out it was a mismanaged stress fracture, and the only cure is to not strain the arm for 6 to 12 weeks. I've put up the actual X-ray he sent me on the screen. So, why do I bring this up? Well, it's our busiest time of the year, and unfortunately, every one of my contractors in the same line of work are also very busy for the next 3 to 4 weeks. So my only solution is to work every day of the week for at least the next 3 to 4 weeks. Long hours and weekends, non-stop. So I have quite the dilemma. For me to make a video, the whole process now is around 6 to 8 hours, depending on the video I am making. I start with an idea, usually a company I want to take a look into. Then I do the research, punch some numbers, write a script, record the voiceover, and then I have to scrub the audio for all the mistakes I make, breathing noises and whatnot. Then I record my screen, and then it's time for editing. That is usually the bulk of my time I put into my videos. When you work 7 days a week, those 6 to 8 hours are very hard to come by. Between the work hours, my hours in the gym, and my time at home with my significant other, cooking food and just trying to catch my breath. Now, my dilemma is this. Do I keep posting a video per week, no matter what, even if the quality goes down? Or should I post a good quality video? Well, as good as I've been making them so far, when I have the time for it. One side of me wants to please the algorithm with being consistent, but the other side of me doesn't want to put out sloppy content just for the sake of it. I also had an idea of a more raw format. Maybe where I have prepared everything and just record it in one go. Then just do a quick edit. I even had the crazy idea of live streaming, but that won't happen as of now, since English is my second language and I'm a bit rusty speaking it outright. There would be too much stumbling on words and a lot of What do you guys say? Sure, only a fraction of my subscribers comment on my videos, but I would really want to hear what you guys think. With that being said, I have at least 2 videos planned, and I can pre-record them since they don't rely on the price of the market. So yeah, I need to figure out the work situation. My business goes first. YouTube is just a hobby as of now, but I will try to keep making content. I would also like you guys to keep the stocks or ETF suggestions coming. Since I have a lot on my mind right now, having suggestions from you could help me a great deal. Things always turn out okay, I guess. I will figure something out and I will be back making quality content for you every week. Well, that's the update and the video. I will have a video ready for next Sunday. Until then, I'm the Swedish Dividend investor. Stay smart, stay patient and keep stacking those dividends. Ha det gött!